In today's episode, we are showing 3D video representations of what happened at 1122 King Road on November 13th, 2022, according to the PCA. These 3D representations were created by Azgetindustries on TikTok, and she is allowing us to show a never-seen version, which includes real video footage. The animations are amazing and provide a unique opportunity for us to discuss and question these events that were created according to the PCA. Remember, your hosts Kim and Carlos have two different opinions about this case. Kim thinks Brian Kohberger might be innocent, and Carlos thinks he might be guilty. Let us know who you agree with. And, as always, everything we discuss is for entertainment and is speculation. Please like and subscribe, and definitely join our discussion in the comments. If you're ready, let's get into it. Welcome back to Typically Unique. I'm Kim Aponte, and I'm here with my husband, Carlos.
Hello.
On today's episode, we have some special video footage that we're going to watch together, and I reached out to Azgetindustries. She does 3D imaging, and she has really awesome videos where she's created 3D models on TikTok. She has a TikTok channel, so if you haven't checked her out, she has 3D models for a lot of the court cases that are going on right now and popular events that have happened in the world, like the bridge collapse and the submarine that was lost. So that's Azgetindustries, so huge shout out to her.
I had saw her video long time ago about the Idaho 4, and through our discussions about the case, I kept going back and referencing that, and you're like, yeah, I think I kind of saw it. So I wanted to look it up again, which I did, and I found a couple, shared them with you, and just kind of jokingly said, well, reach out to her and see if she'll let us use her videos. Kim did, and she graciously allowed us to use her video. We want to give her all the credit, and she said that she had updated one. There's an exclusive that we're going to drop today for the first time. So
she's never posted it.
So kudos to Azget and Azgetindustries, and really appreciate the work that she does. Again, check her out. But we are moving, sometimes you have to look back to move forward. And I think this is something that this actual animation intrigued me enough to kind of ask questions about the Idaho 4. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to look at it. But, I know we're far along in the case, but it's good to go back and take a look at something like this and say, all this time later, it's over a year now since I think these were done. Does this still kind of hold water? Is this, something that we should be considering? I'm considering it.
Right. We understand the content isn't new. It's our discussion around it that since we've had these couple recent hearings and questions that are coming up, and we're going to compare things to the PCA, that's what this episode is about. So watching this, maybe, older timeline footage, but having that discussion around it. So we're going to start with the first video.
Yeah, let's just play the first video. I think it's narrated by Azget. So, let's play that one and see, and we'll watch together.
Kohberger, the suspect, is believed to have entered the neighborhood at 3:29 a.m. Approaching the house, he noticed the lights are on. This hinders his plan, and he now has to rethink things. He continues on to the back where he sees even more lights on. From the affidavit, we know he drove by the house 3 times in less than 5 minutes, probably trying to figure out what to do next. He finally decides to leave the area for a little while, and observes the lights are on one last time in front as he drives off. Cameras show him leaving the neighborhood and exiting on Walenta Drive in this direction. It's uncertain which way he went from this point here, but we know that he is seen here at this location at 3:45 a.m., caught on a gas station security camera. Wondering if this could truly be a 2015 Elantra, I downloaded a known image of one with a similar angle of view. I then entered that into a 3D modeling software and added some lighting and then tilted the camera to get a similar angle. I then animated the image to be traveling at 40 miles per hour, giving motion blur, which ended with this result. Though not scientific, we can see very close similarities that this is a 2015 Elantra. Back to the map. We see the suspect re-enters the neighborhood at 4:04 a.m. He drives up to the house and slows down. Looking at the windows, he sees the lights are now off. Continuing to the back, he checks to see if those lights are off. They are. He's excited. He knows everyone is finally in bed, but he wants to check the front one last time. As he drives down, he's filled with adrenaline, seeing the lights are all off. His brain short circuits for a second as he clumsily tries to turn around in front of the house. It fails, but he regains composure and drives on. He's caught on camera making a 3-point turn at the end of the street to return back to the residence. He does his final drive to the back of the house. Minutes later, he's entering the kitchen through the sliding glass door.
Okay, so we're going to watch that again, and then we're going to stop it and talk about it along the way.
Right.
Brian Kohlberger, the suspect, is believed to have entered the neighborhood at 3:29 a.m. Approaching the house, he noticed the lights are on. This hinders his plan, and he now has to rethink things. He continues on to the back where he sees even more lights on. From the affidavit, we know he drove by the house 3 times in less than 5 minutes, probably trying to figure out what to do next.
So when she put up the affidavit, is that the PCA, probable cause affidavit, or is that the arrest affidavit? Okay, probable cause. So that's what was made public and what we're going to talk about in the...
We're going to go over that in our next episode.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's what she built this on. That's what.
That's the point.
Took.
Yeah.
That's all the facts.
Right. That's the point I wanted to make, is that this is publicly available. She got access to it, made the animation based off of the affidavit. Okay.
He finally decides to leave the area for a little while and observes the lights are on one last time in front as he drives off. Cameras show him leaving the neighborhood and exiting on Walenta Drive in this direction. It's uncertain which way he went from this point here.
See, now, I don't know. There's all these times where they just lose track of that car, and I'm like, it was 2022. I just find that hard to believe that they couldn't find a camera to track him the whole way.
So we're assuming, based off some of the information that we saw, that the phone was not working, in airplane mode, or off.
Well,
and
that's the phone.
And when I say not working, it's wasn't pinging off towers. Mm-hmm. So they are having to rely exclusively on cameras for this.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay, because it's not tied to the phone stuff at this point, right?
Right.
So you would think that there would be, more Ring cameras, surveillance cameras, but depending on which route he took, it could be a road less traveled, and we live in a rural area. There are many road less traveled out this way, and probably would be silly to have a Ring camera, in some of those areas. But yes, it is. We are in a new age, and there are a lot of Ring cameras out there.
So that could be. I think I pointed out in one of our previous episodes that that gas station.
Yes.
So they did have the gas station footage.
That's what she shows in here.
Yes, and that is one of the only ones that they cite. And remember, the gas station attendant turned it in.
Yes.
So it's not like it was collected.
Right.
So that's just funny to me.
Yeah.
They don't have other videos to follow the route if they're for sure that's him and his car.
And it makes somewhat sense on this because this is approximately half hour, 45 minutes before the crime took place.
Right.
He's on there's perspective here. I don't know if what they're showing on the map here is a mile or, how long that is, but
I don't think it's far. I think it's all very close.
You could see that the break in the road to where they finally do catch him on the gas station camera is, a bit of a distance, but, again, perspective on this map. But, I don't think that's the critical component here, right? The critical component is who was at the house at the time of the murder. And, should we have canvassed we're talking last episode in a 10-mile radius? Yeah, get as much as you can. But I don't know if it's overkill at this point, and someone's got to watch all those videos. Like the defense attorney, the poor defense attorney who can't even get
now
them.
She's got to watch thousands of hours of cameras that are not the important ones.
Yep.
We know that he is seen here at this location at 3:45 a.m., caught on a gas station security camera.
3:45.
Wondering if this could truly be a 2015 Elantra, I downloaded a known image of one with a similar angle of view. I then entered that into a 3D modeling software and added some lighting and then tilted the camera to get a similar angle. I then animated the image to be traveling at 40 miles per hour, giving motion blur, which ended with this result. Though not scientific, we can see very close similarities that this is a 2015 Elantra.
Okay, so I know she did her best as an animation, so we're not critiquing her work. We're critiquing the content of the case, the characteristics and everything. So I just still feel like that car that is on video footage just looks more plain to me. Like, I don't know. I just still think that has that. And then I wanted to point out, like, you can remember how I told you there was that shadow of the camera. You can see her taking the picture.
Yes.
So that photo got released pretty early on. And let me tell you, our true crime community went to town on that photo. Like, I've seen blow-ups and people really enhance it. And when I was looking at those, I thought it looked like more than one person in the car. And I'm pretty sure this was the only photo out there that we've ever seen of that. So...
Right, and that's what was shown to the public. Apparently, there are a lot of videos of this car moving about in the area. And, the hope is a couple things. One, did any of them catch any part of the license plate?
Yeah, that's what I keep saying.
Which would be huge, and we don't know that. And you would think if they had that information, they would have gotten to Kohberger a lot sooner, right? If something could be enhanced. I know the FBI has a lot of enhancement software to, enhance, cameras and imaging and things like that and blow it up. And the other thing is, at this point, we don't know what they have. This is only a few things that were shared. We don't know exactly what they have available to them and how they're comparing some of these other videos. We'll see a few other videos, but they're very far away and,
right.
non-distinct as well. But
So two things. Chief Fry said in one of his initial press conferences that they wanted to speak to the individual or individuals in this car. So they just made it seem like this car, and I believe it was from the gas station footage, like, we think you know something, we just want to talk to you. Like, we just want to talk to you. And then the other thing is, if they had this video or other videos, again, like this person took a screenshot of it and put it out onto the internet, why not post that photo of that car for the public to see? Like, we're looking for this car. Mm-hmm. Why would police not do that?
I think that photo right there is very non-distinct. I mean, I don't think that photo that they're showing from that image of a video image is not very, it's not sitting still. It's not a studio shot. It's a car moving at nighttime.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, not just saying we're looking for a 2011 to 2016 is very non-distinct
as well. Yeah. But they at least got, the make and model correct. But in the years were.
Back to the map. We see the suspect re-enters the neighborhood at 4:04 a.m. He drives up to the house and slows down. Looking at the windows, he sees the lights are now off. Continuing to the back, he checks to see if those lights are off. They are. He's excited. He knows everyone is finally in bed, but he wants to check the front one last time.
So did she say that was 4:04? But because if that's when they just got the food delivered, you're not getting the food delivery and then shutting your lights off.
He drives down. He's filled with adrenaline, seeing the lights are all off. His brain short circuits for a second as he clumsily tries to turn around in front of the house. It fails, but he regains composure and drives on. He's caught on camera making a 3-point turn at the end of the street to return back to the residence. He does his final drive to the back of the house. Minutes later, he's entering the kitchen through the sliding glass door.
So again, I really like that setup in that animation. I think it kind of speaks to a little bit what happened just prior. I know we'll see a couple other videos that talk about a little bit of what happens just prior, but I like that one, even with her narration, and maybe how he was feeling in the moment,
Right.
but I took it, it's entertainment. I took it for its value. And, I thought, the animation was great. It helped put together some videos that I have seen where it's really difficult to get perspective of where the house is and what the car's doing. So I like that.
Stick around for the exclusive one because she really kind of takes that same route, but she inserts some real footage.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
And we should show that one
Really
next,
good.
actually.
Okay.
Let's do that one.
Next. Yep. Let me get it queued up here.
All right.
Can I make this bigger? Oh, there we go. Okay, so this doesn't have audio.
So they have him coming back in at 4:05. The previous one said 4:04, right?
Right.
Okay.
So we know there's a video from that apartment 52 that caught the car. This is the Linda Lane footage, which when you watch that, the Linda Lane footage, you see all this, but I thought that was pretty neat that she put that in here.
Yeah.
Because you can see the timestamp on the Linda Lane video.
Yeah, so you can see the car moving around, but you don't have perspective as to where it's at.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool, the showing.
Yeah, her modeling is amazing.
Yeah. So here's where he attempts the 3-point turn, but couldn't do it. So it goes all the way out. And now they catch him on this ring camera.
That's another camera,
Yeah,
right?
from this perspective.
And here's the real footage, which I've never seen this.
I think it's just showing the area, not showing the car.
The car, just the area. Okay.
I like the overhead view too.
Yeah. That's a good video view of the tunnel area between those two apartments that go back to this Linda Lane. And I loved this too. 330, 339, 356, 405, 407.
Right.
407's cutting that time tight in the house.
I think they have him entering at 409, but I could be wrong. So he parks back here.
Now,
and shuts the...
Does anybody remember seeing a video at the very, very, very beginning? I'm going to go searching for it, but there was, and I don't know if it was from the Bandfield camera. It was around that time when that footage came out, I think. There was a video going around where you could see just lights. All you could see was lights and the house. And I remember as we were discussing it, it was probably on TikTok. It looked like this area, that wooded area behind the house, and just looked like a car pulling up, backing away, and parking. And that always has stuck with me. And then seeing this made me remember that. Let me know if you saw that.
So that takes it almost all the way up to where he parks and comes up to the sliding glass door, which one of the videos that we have shows him entering at around 409, which makes sense, right? The timeline so far is making some sense. But before we go to the next video, which shows him inside the house in this animation, what are your thoughts on, is this kind of how you thought this crime was happening? Like, from what you saw very early on, that somebody was in the neighborhood, let's not even call it BK at this point. Somebody was in the neighborhood coming in and out in a white vehicle, and about the time that they suspected that the crime happened, this car was around, right?
So my perspective on this car driving around, to me, just my intuitive reaction, does not look like a killer stalking a house. It looks like someone... this is my gut feeling, just someone like checking. And I know that like checking to see if I can go in, but that's not how I take it. Like, yeah. I don't think you would drive by a house that many times if you're planning on going in there to do something. I feel like they're I know something's happening and I'm driving by to see if it is happening, or I don't know, something like that. That's the way I take it.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it as, and I mentioned this in a episode that we did with somebody else, right? We were guest hosts with a different creator, and 12 Gauge, I guess we could say that.
We were on 12 Gauge's channel.
Yeah, 12 Gauge. And one of the things I mentioned on there was, we were kind of profiling a little bit, and one of the things I had mentioned was, there was a lot of suspicious things that he had listed about Brian Kohberger. And I said, those things are a little bit abnormal. And if he had the urge to do this, and this was a prevailing wind inside of him that, I want to feel this feeling, or I have this rage, or whatever that is. When that urge meets an opportunity, and for him just driving around the area, who knows how many times he drove around this area, but when he drove away and then came back a half hour later, all of a sudden the urge could have been so great and the opportunity presented itself, So he seemed to, whomever was driving this vehicle, I think it's Brian Koberger, but whoever's driving this vehicle is pretty familiar with the area. He's going behind and he's, going there. Could that have been the very first time he was there? I personally don't think so, but he's doing okay. He's got there. He got back. He didn't use, Waze or GPS. He knows where he's going. Whoever's in that white car knows where he's going, knows where to park, knows where to put the vehicle so he can enter on a different side.
That's what it looks like. To you.
Yeah, to me, that's my.
So I don't think that's an opportunity. I don't think 6 people in a house with a ton of cars outside in the parking lot, a house that just got a DoorDash delivery 5 minutes before you're driving around. I don't think that's an opportunity. I think an opportunity would be a solo hiker in the woods that you come across, or something like that. I just bring that up because they said he was in a park. Like, you come across somebody in a park, that'd be, a sitting duck opportunity, but not that house.
What takes you to the park? The urge. What took the Delphi guy to the park? The urge. Urge met opportunity. What got him out driving around at 3, 4 in the morning? The urge. He finally got the opportunity. That's where I sit.
Well, you know what they're connecting the Delphi case to now, don't you? So it doesn't look like that was one person either. So I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things being discovered about these cases, and police work being done in a lot of cases recently. So,
well, I'm glad you mentioned the one person, because let's show the next video, because I think that was something that I heard very early on in this case. No way one person came in here and did all this. Came in and
did that, yeah.
And this animation kind of helps a little bit with the one person theory, at least in my eyes. To see this, the way she animated it out was pretty good for me.
I'll leave it like this and see if it plays. So the last video left off with him going up to the back sliding door. Can I try to make it big again? No. This one might be hard to see, but can't see where he's at, can you?
No, I don't even think it's playing.
I need my cursor. Interesting.
Oh, there he is.
He is.
All right, now he's coming down the steps.
Coming in the house.
Okay. Yeah, I checked on the puppy.
Oh, he's upstairs already.
Yeah, went to the other room.
Yeah.
And she blacks that out, so.
Right. So first of all, if he went to if he went to Kaylee's room that had the Murphy in it, the dog, that dog would have started barking right away.
Yeah.
And according to the PCA, the dog didn't start barking till 4:17. This must be about 10 after 4.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think he was upstairs for 3 minutes. It may show in another video, but I think he was upstairs for 3 minutes.
So Dylan's already gotten up and checked the door.
Right.
Twice. He's at the second room. Yeah, that was really hard to see.
Yeah,
I'll
let's
have to see if I can amplify it again.
let's try the other video.
So it's putting the people in their rooms. So Bethany down here, Dylan right here, Ethan and Xana over here, Murphy is in Kaylee's room, and Maddie and Kaylee are over here.
That's the slider right
so
there.
He's coming through the slider, through the kitchen. I'm like pointing with my mouse. I don't know if I don't think that's going to get recorded.
Yeah.
So he's rounding past Dylan's room to go upstairs, which her bedroom would be the first one that he would encounter. But a lot of people say it didn't really look like a bedroom door.
So now he's at the top of the steps, and he goes checks the dog's room first.
Right. A lot of dog owners, too, say there's no way that dog would be in the room by itself. They would have been with the girls. So Dylan got up, heard a noise, right?
Open the door.
Kaylee playing with their dog.
Yep.
But the tragedy is happening right above her. I just cannot think for a second you wouldn't hear something awful.
And then so now he's downstairs
On the second floor.
passes her room again.
Yep.
And goes in the other room.
I mean, think about what the footsteps sound like in our house.
Yeah.
You can hear her.
And then now she gets up again. And at this point, when she opens the door, and it was real brief there, but it showed the perspective of her looking out the door and seeing.
Yeah, that was a really cool perspective.
Yeah, the perpetrator kind of walking right towards her. I think you had mentioned that, hopefully, luckily, her lights were off. So
right.
Maybe he didn't see that the
Right,
door
and
was
she was
open.
just standing in the darkness, but it did give that really good perspective. And I don't know, this is StreamYard acting up or recording on, so I know every YouTuber knows what I'm talking about. I will try to insert
at least
footage.
that picture, yeah.
Yeah, I'll edit. I'll do some editing.
All right.
To show that better.
So a couple things about that video. We did, of course, our own narration. I did see one video that she did that was a little bit, it was letterbox style instead of straight up and down like an iPhone. So, but a couple things. One is Dylan, her reaction to the very first, are they playing with the dog? What's going on upstairs? I'm hearing some things. If I were asleep, dead asleep, if I was asleep, it would take me a little bit to like awaken. So at the start of the attack, I'm not sure I would know or have heard that. Yeah. Or what you're hearing. So probably into the attack, or maybe, because it's only 3 minutes. So say it took a minute to kind of fully wake up, after hearing some things, you'd be like, hey, what's going on up there? Let me get out of bed and open the door and see what's going on. And when she saw nothing, she's like, they're just probably playing with the dogs. I think that was called into question a lot, like very early on. Like, hey, if I heard stuff like that, I'd be on 911 or I'd be running up to my friends or, something. But, I know coming out of a deep sleep, especially when you first fall asleep and you're pretty groggy and what's going on, it may take a few minutes. Do you see it that way or?
Maybe initially, but I try not to. But if I let myself even begin to think about the noises that were probably... even just furniture moving.
Yeah.
Just those noises. It wouldn't be normal. It would not, those could not have been normal sounds.
Yeah.
to me.
So
I don't know. I'll never get over that.
Let me vouch for you for a second because, today, today's a little different, but, today your alarm goes off like crazy. I mean, it can go off for forever and you won't wake up. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. I mean, please wake up and shut that thing off, right?
That's only if I know that I have to go to work.
Yeah. But when you were a new mother, I could barely hear the kids through the baby monitor, but you heard like the first cooing and you would immediately wake up. So you were almost pre-programmed for that. And I'm not saying this is that, but to your point, if there's an unusual sound, not something that you typically hear, like my alarm every morning, I'm going to ignore that. It's part of my dream. And I'm going to let my husband wake up before I do, but you have been very, especially with the kids, you were always a light sleeper with the kids. Was that the kids? Was, something going on? I mean, you were very in tune to that. This is a little different, but I get what you're saying.
But now
it's
I'm
abnormal.
hyper alert to other things like safety type things.
Safety type things, right. So I could see that. Also, there were things that were said according to the PCA, I believe. And we'll get into that more in the next episode. But there were things that were said that were like, I'm here to help you or something like that, that would, well, who, what, where, when, why, right? That would intrigue me as well. And then the last thing I want to mention, we talk a lot about Dylan and all this, but who was the other person that was on the first floor? Bethany has nothing.
No, but at least she has a reason for not. I mean, she's the most removed from the sound, so I really can't say.
And I guess there's a couple things with that. One is I did hear that there was a concrete floor in one area, so it wouldn't necessarily be like, our house, which is wood floors and creaking and all that. One of them was a slab or something. I don't know if that was directly over her or not.
There was an addition.
But to your point, if I'm hearing something unusual, even faintly, I am going to...
We're checking it out. And I'm sending you to check it out.
That's right. So I don't know. Your thoughts on that? To me, this seems like a pretty good representation because of the compressed timeline, and spotting the car immediately before and immediately after. This seems like a pretty good representation, and it kind of jives with what Dylan had said. So I think this is a really good representation, and I'm gonna use this as fact until told differently. Until told differently. But Azget, I think, did a really good job. Again, I can't praise her enough for putting this together and allowing us to show the exclusive video with the exclusive animation with the added video in it.
Yeah, that was cool.
I think that was really great. And on our next episode, I know we want to talk specifics about the PCA because, we printed it out, we made some notes. I think this was a big part of it. And I think this kind of lends to the fact that, this is why we think Idaho police, we got our guy.
From your perspective.
From my perspective. And the Idaho police, right?
I'm enjoying doing this, and my point about doing this is to look at the wow moments that we just had at the hearing and some of the holes that are being poked in some of these facts that we thought were facts, and to go back and look at, okay, so here's an animation of what the PCA said happened.
Right.
Pretty close to what they said. I thought it was a very good representation. So now let's look at it again and see, what questions do we have? And then when we go on our next episode and read through the PCA, we're going to have a whole lot more things that, well, I am going to have a whole lot more things that I'm going to be questioning and pointing out, and we'll be able to reflect back on this video. So, yeah, thanks for watching it with us. If you stuck through to the end, and please join us back on our next episode. We'll see you then.
Yep. Thank you very much. Check out Azgetindustries.
Yep, on TikTok. And please subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, and give us a thumbs up. We would appreciate it.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.